We're live.
Welcome to the Green Beret Life SCIF. I am Matt. That's Stu. We are back here every Thursday. We are a 501c3. If you're interested, check out our website, TheGreenBeretLife.com. We do training for anybody, but basically everything goes into getting veterans and veterans' families out into outdoor activities like shooting. So if you're interested in any training, hit us up. You can get a hold of us at the email, which is TheGreenBeretLife@gmail.com. And if you got any questions about anything, we'll shoot you straight. Send it to us there, and we'll get back to you, even if it takes a little bit of time for us to get back. But thank you for joining us. We got a pretty busy show tonight. We're going to try to do, because I know we keep going over.
It's Matt's fault. He gets distracted.
And we keep going over on all of this. So we're going to try to spend shorter periods of time getting through everything. So, Stu, what are we going to go through tonight?
We've got some stories concerning the migrants and their apparent ability to run rampant in New York City. We're looking at that. There seems to be a big hullabaloo about Tucker Carlson doing his interview with Vladimir Putin, even though he's been talking about wanting to do it for the past 2 years. Apparently now it's an issue with the pearl clutchers in the mainstream media. There's the border bill that we're going to talk about, as well as the Mayorcas impeachment attempt.
Attempt is the actual word.
Yep. Then we've got some stories on Ronna McDaniel planning to step down as the chairperson of the RNC, which is good news, and some other things we're going to try and get to if we have time. I think that's the bulk of the big stories we wanted to try and hit.
You know, every time I hear Ronna McDaniel, I'm thinking Ronald McDonald.
You're not far off. I mean, she is a clown. I mean,
yeah, she is an absolute clown. But that's some good news. What story you want to start with?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what we can do on YouTube without getting our hands smacked. That's that we need to start coming up with a YouTube story, a family friendly YouTube story that we can talk about without getting.
We're gonna have to speak in code. Yeah.
Oh.
We're gonna have to speak in code or something,
I guess. Geez. Which one did you want to start with? I'm seriously, I'm having a hard time with the ones that we want to talk about, because they're all hitting on.
We'll start with an easy one. We'll start with Ronald McDonald, right?
Okay. Yep, we can do that.
Yeah. So hold on, we're getting. Ronna McDaniel was called down to Mar-a-Lago, right? And the day after she went down to meet Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, she decides that she's going to step down. Now, this, for those of you that don't know, she is Mitt Romney's niece. She apparently did a good job for Trump in Michigan when she was the head of the Republican Party of Michigan when Trump ran initially in 2016. Upon that success, she was sort of projected to the we got a pretty wild comment.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Apparently, I was on the Epstein Island list. It wasn't me. So she became the head of the RNC. Since she became the head of the RNC, she's been an absolute disaster. It's like she switched into rhino mode. And this became really apparent because she ran again this past year, and nobody wanted her. Of course, we don't get to pick. If you're in the Republican Party, the Republican grassroots do not get to pick the head of the RNC. Isn't that funny? It's pretty much she's appointed by the powers that be and the donor class, right? So she has she ended up winning when 6% of the Republican grassroots wanted her to win. People wanted Mike Lindell, who ran, or Harmeet Dillon. So Mike Lindell was the big favored among the donor or the grassroots side, we the people, and Harmeet Dillon was a close second. But instead, they go with Ronna McDaniel, who got 6%. So, yeah, it's one of those things that it's good that she's gone, because I think everything was highlighted in the 2022 elections, and in the 2022 midterms, the Republicans, and I'm going to tell you, I think the 2018 midterms were full on for sure. Tank. And I think they were tanked for a reason. I've said my theory on here before, and it's just my theory, but I think they wanted to expose Donald Trump, the Rhino establishment, and they wanted to expose Donald Trump to the Democrats so he could get impeached. That's what I really think happened. And one of the little nuggets I always use on this is Darrell Issa. Darrell Issa was he retired along with like 40 some other Republicans. Incumbents retiring is a bad thing because people usually vote for incumbents, right? And bunch of Republican incumbents retired or quit, and then Darrell Issa was one of them and comes back in 2020. I found that very curious. Why would you do that? So anyways, we move forward to 2022, and I really think that we tanked that too. We were taking money away as the RNC. We were taking money away from pro-America First candidates, and then we were giving that money over to Rhino candidates. And it's biting us in the ass today because they really went out of their way, McConnell, the RNC, to save Lisa Murkowski up in Alaska. Okay? And so now we got Lisa Murkowski up in Alaska, and she's one of the 4 in the Senate that ended up voting for that trash border bill. So, Ronna McDaniel getting the boot needed to happen yesterday. Okay? So, I say good riddance. Stu, what are your thoughts on good old Ronna?
I think it's a great a great step. I mean, I don't think that we could do worse with anyone else there. Like you said, when you and I were talking earlier, Vivek went at her both barrels and pretty damn hard during the vice presidential debates, and she didn't like that. I mean, again, nothing he said was false. Nothing he said was exaggerated. It was 100% true and accurate. And she got her feelings hurt and made the comment of, he's not getting a dime of our money. And like you said, it's not her money. Mm-hmm. It's for the Republican Party, for the Republican candidates. But unfortunately, they get to play kingmaker and decide who they want, who they're going to support, regardless as to what anyone, says. But I had seen reports where their fundraising for the Republican Party had been in the absolute gutter. They're just they were not donating because she was in charge of the disbursement, and it was not being, put where it should be.
Yeah, she's a complete disaster. Now it needs to get to a point where we get somebody that's decent in the RNC. I think this border bill is a death knell for the establishment Republican Party. And
yeah, we'll be talking about that later. Yeah, there's definitely some things there in the border bill that are if it weren't so serious, it would be funny. You know, the way they try and couch things and the way they try and make things sound, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's, I don't think we really need to discuss. There is one little sidebar. Matt Gaetz came out and nobody knows if he's serious or if he's joking, and said that McCarthy would make a good head of the RNC. And everybody's like, "Are you serious?" And he's acting like he's serious. So I think that has to be tongue in cheek. McCarthy, I think really let the Republican Party down, as he just up and quits, leaving us votes short, and allowed this nonsense for getting rid of Santos, who was going to vote, who was voting the way we wanted him to. So
yeah, and again, he was one that was run right out of Congress with never been accused of, never been charged with anything, never was convicted of anything, but he just like any other politician, he lied his ass off, but apparently, he hurt somebody's feelings and got run out on a rail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyways, I think we've talked enough about Rona. Let's move on to, you pick the next subject, Stu.
Let's see. Did you want to talk about Tucker?
Yeah, let's talk about Tucker.
Okay.
We're trying to hit the YouTube friendly to get as much on YouTube as we can. Obviously, we're not going to stay on YouTube. Everybody knows that YouTube sucks. Google sucks. So you got to watch what you're saying, look over your back, and we're just trying to get as many friendly stories out that really nothing controversial is going to come out. But we're going to switch over to Rumble and Odysee in a bit, where we can speak more freely. All right, let's talk about Tucker. So Tucker took off to Russia and went to interview Putin. Okay, so Putin. Yeah, this is real funny because everybody remembers when Tucker's texts, his private texts on what was he using? He was using not Telegram. He was using Signal. He was using Signal, which is supposed to be safe.
Supposed to be secure. Yep.
Yeah, they were hacked and then given to the media, right? And they did this. They did this in order to try to embarrass him and to intimidate him from interviewing Putin before, right? Now, Tucker went on and stated that, hey, I think they did it again, but we're not going to be intimidated by anybody. You should hear the other side in a war that we are paying for, right?
Yep.
So, it's journalism unless somebody else, unless Tucker, if somebody on the right does it, then it's their treason. It's so funny because you're seeing the left absolutely melt down over this.
Well, if it's anybody outside of the mainstream media that's not towing the party line, well, then it's treasonous. It's a traitor. It's, aid and comfort to the enemy. But, because it's not the narrative that they want out there. So it's being dogpiled on and just run to the ground.
Yeah. We have an obvious troll. He's shown up before on YouTube. So
which one? Oh,
he's claiming he's Josie. He's not Josie. Then he's the Taliban. Then he's Adolf Hitler. Yeah. So, anyways, we get to play the little game. Some of it's funny, then it gets old. So, anyways, um, Tucker is interviewing Putin. The left are losing their mind. The left is simply, you watch CNN. I forget her name on CNN, just off the top of my head, but it was Erin Burnett. That's who it was on CNN, having an absolute meltdown, and she's just shilling. She keeps on going about the MAGA leader, saying that Tucker's one of the MAGA leaders, but the ultimate MAGA leader is Donald Trump. Da, 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 da. It is coming from these media outlets. If anybody's ever watched Mark Dice or anything, he's talked about the operation from specific intelligence agencies and stuff like that.
I'll be right back, Matt.
Yeah, and it's one of those. It's one of those things. He talks about the mockingbird media, where intelligence agencies are running the media to push a message and entertainment, right? So when you listen to CNN and MSNBC, and I know everybody on here understands that you're getting absolute crap from just about every media outlet out there. When you listen to her, it sounds absolutely no questions, because she's lost her mind and is so emotional over this. It sounds like pure propaganda coming from the administration and doled out the talking points. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So, anyways, this guy's really having fun on this other side here. This guy, yeah. he hasn't been on in a while, but he pulled this crap before. So,
hey, we appreciate the views, man. Love the engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me, we've got an Ann Coulter story to talk about later, and it kind of reminds me of that. So, anyways,
yeah, it's funny though how, like you said, there hasn't been, and whether it was the Putin not giving interviews or not taking interview requests or whatever, but I can guarantee you that if any of them had gotten the request for interview returned, they would have been over there, in a heartbeat to do the interview. But because they didn't do it, feelings are all hurt, panties in a twist, and now they have to, how bad he is for doing it, even though they would have been there in a heartbeat to do it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't wait to watch this interview. It's going to be free. It's going to be on X. You watch how the mainstream media tries to ignore this, but it is going to blow up. It is going to blow up. I'm predicting 200 to 300 million views. So, yeah, it's something I'm anticipating seeing, and it's. I mean, you're only supposed to buy one side and listen to that side, and that is the story. And everybody knows that it's bullshit. So, I just love watching. I love watching them melt down over this whole thing.
Well, it's like you said, they're there to tell you what you should be thinking, how you should think about, what you should think about a topic, not, saying, hey, this is what's going on. These are the facts. This is side A's, point of view. This is side B's point of view. And it's just, no, we're going to tell you side A's point of view. That's it. That's all. Side B's just bad. And it's that simple thing of just, this is all we're going to do. You're going to get one side of it, and that's it. And we're going to tell you what to think. We're going to tell you who the good guy is, who the bad guy is. And, that's all you're getting.
Stu, do we got any comments on Rumble or Odysee?
Actually, on Rumble, Find Zach just became a monthly supporter, and we greatly appreciate that. It means a lot that you guys want to come out and spend your Wednesday evenings with us.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. Thank you. Next story. Do we need to switch over to Rumble Odysee?
Probably, because I'm having a hard time figuring out what story we can we can do and not have an issue.
Not deal with it. Well, everybody here, even the troll. Thank you for joining us at YouTube. YouTube sucks. Google sucks. They have no respect for our First Amendment, and don't give me this. It's a private company crap because they've taken federal funds. We all know this. So, we're going to switch over to Rumble and Odysee. We are under the Green Beret Life at both of those. Please come and join us over there, and we can speak freely over there. We don't have to parse words or worry about what we're saying. Look over our back, wonder, can we talk about this story or not? It just sucks. I hate that. I hate the feeling of not being able to speak. And what's YouTube going to say? And it's funny. Yeah. Because YouTube hires or Google hires outside agencies. And it was revealed, a couple of years ago that one of these outside agencies that goes through monitoring content is the Southern Poverty Law Center. I don't know if any of you guys know.
Yeah, because they're not biased whatsoever. They're straight shooters.
Radical leftist organization.
No, come on now.
Yeah. So this is the type of crap, and this is why I say YouTube sucks. Google sucks, and why we want to spend more of our time over we're going to talk about Mayorcas SVD. We're going to talk about Mayorcas on the other side. It's pissed us off too. We're going to talk about it's really 3 Republicans. The fourth did it for a reason. But we're going to talk about these guys, and they're going to need to be primaried. So please come and join us over on Rumble or Odysee. The trolls can stay here, or troll. It's one individual. It is funny though. I mean, the guy's he is pretty funny. So, anyways, can I count down from 3? He's almost done. Yeah, there we go. So, anyways.
Yeah, the links should be in the description for Odysee and Rumble, whichever you prefer. So come on over there. We're going to be finishing everything up here and opening that one up here in just a moment. Get started over there with some of these stories that we couldn't really get into over on YouTube for fear of the PP smack.
All right, we will see you guys over there. Thank you for joining us here, and we'll see you on the other side.